current is entering this resistor, then you consider this as positive and this one as negative. Okay, but in the question they have asked the voltage across the 6 ohm resistor, here minus, here plus. But now as per the assumed current direction, we have got plus and minus like this. Okay, so for this, after you substituted the polarities, you write the KVL equation for this. When you are having the voltage source like this is a dependent voltage source, we have already discussed. You write the, you consider like a voltage source, you write the equations accordingly. Okay, so if you write the KVL equation for this particular circuit, so here when you are starting from this 12 volt source, you will be getting minus 12. Then the current is going to enter the positive polarity of this 4 ohm resistor. So you are going to get 4I. Then you are going to have 2V naught. This is the voltage of this voltage source. So here the current is entering the positive polarity. Since current is entering the positive polarity, I should consider it as positive 2V naught. Then the current is going to enter the negative polarity of this voltage source. So I have considered minus 4. Then here for the resistor, the current is going to enter the positive terminal of my 6 ohm resistor, because I have assumed the polarity of this voltage source as like this, because the current is like entering like this. For this resistor, I have assumed the polarity as plus here and minus here, because for my assumed current direction, the current is flowing in this way. So wherever current is entering, I should consider it as a positive for resistor, inductor and capacitor. For that, I have here it is a resistor, so I have considered it as a positive terminal, positive polarity. So this is a 6 ohm. So the voltage across this resistor is 6 into I. So that I have mentioned it as plus 6I. Okay. So here, if I rearrange this equation, I will get V naught is equal to minus 6I. Okay. Okay. This is different one. So here, this is a different case, but this is the actual equation. In this equation, we have written the KVL equation. This is the first equation. So now, in this equation, if you see, there are two variables. If there are two variables in the single equation, it is not possible for us to solve it, right? Because here V naught is a variable and I is also a variable. So you are having a one equation and two unknown variables are there. So if that is the case with a single equation, it is not possible to find the solution. So in order to find the solution, you need another, you need to relate these variables. That's what they have done here. Okay, so here for this is 6 ohm. What is V naught? V naught is the voltage across this resistor. What is V naught? V naught is nothing but 6 into I, right? V naught is nothing but 6 into I, but V naught is equal to 6 into I. Okay, but in the question, they have given the polarity of this as like this. Okay, so this is one thing. They have given the polarity of this resistor as like this. Okay, so now you can consider this V naught as actually 6 into I is the voltage drop across this resistor, right? So if you want to take V naught as it is, then you have to consider this voltage will be opposite of this actual V naught. Let me tell you again, you are having a resistor. In this resistor, you are having a 6 ohm. 6 into I is the voltage across this resistor, that is 6 ohm resistor. Now, what is happening? They have asked you to find the V naught and I. V naught is the dependent variable. So when you are having a dependent variable, what is the polarity given for the V naught in the question? As per our solution, you are going to write equation in this fashion. So you are going to get 6 into I as voltage drop like this. Now, when you are having a dependent voltage source like this and the polarity of this V naught, okay, the polarity of this V naught, just a minute. Okay, so when you write KVL equation, you had considered like this. So you have written minus 12 for this, plus 4 into I for this, plus 2 V naught plus for this, here minus 4 for this, and here you have written plus 6I for this. Okay, this is the voltage across the resistor for this resistor. Now you see this thing, this is a V naught. This V naught is the variable which is going to define this voltage of the dependent source. Okay, so now you are having V naught like this, you are having V naught like this, then as per our assumed current direction, you are having 6I like this. So here this voltage will be positive and here it will be, polarity will be like this. You will be having polarity in this fashion, you are having 6 into I here. So in this case, what will happen is your actual V naught is opposite to the assumed direction, because this is plus 6I. So your V naught is going to be minus 6I. Okay, that's what I have considered. Okay, you don't get confused here. This is a control variable. When this is a control variable, obviously that polarity should be considered. Okay, when you talked about a simple circuit, that is fine, you can neglect this completely. Let me redraw it. So let us say that I have a circuit, so that circuit is like this. When I have a circuit like this, if they have asked me to find the voltage across this resistor, minus, minus, plus, so here I can neglect this and I can apply current equation, current assumption. Based on this current assumption, I can put the polarity and I wrote the KVL equation, right? I wrote the KVL equation. Now I have a dependent voltage source in between. What I have done, similar kind I have done, I haven't done any other change. Similarly, I have written the KVL equation. But when I want to write the voltage for this, that is the V naught. The V naught polarity is given in this direction. That means in this polarity direction it is given. So here I need the V naught. Okay. So when I want to write it for the V naught, for the dependent voltage source, I should consider the polarity also. So when I want to consider this polarity, the polarity, that is a V naught, is opposite to our assumed current direction, because here you are going to get a voltage in this fashion. Your voltage is going to be 6I when you are going to see from here. Now they have asked a voltage that is in this fashion. So your V naught is going to be minus 6 into I. Do you understand this? Do you understand this point? If you have doubt, you ask now itself. I have taken V naught that I needed to be put it in the circuit, so that it's going to be opposite to what we have assumed. So I should consider it as minus 6I. If you have doubt, kindly ask now, else we will proceed further. Okay, fine. So based on this, I have written V naught is equal to minus 6I. If you substitute V naught is equal to minus 6I in the previous equation, I will get this equation. Now, if I solve this equation, I will get I is equal to minus 8 ampere. So in this case, the assumed current direction is opposite to the actual current direction. Okay, so you can mention that you can find the voltage across this 6 ohm. So here the 6 ohm, the voltage across the 6 ohm resistor is plus minus, that is minus 48 volt for the current direction, which is assumed in this way, because I is minus 8, R is 6 ohm, you are getting minus 48 volt, minus 48 volt. So in this case, here this voltage we have measured across this like this, so that is minus 40 volt. So this V naught will be plus 48 volt. Okay, because V naught is negative of 6 into I, minus 6 into I. So your I is negative now, already one negative is there. So 6 into minus 6 into 40 minus 8, you will get plus 48 for V naught. Do you understand this? If you have any doubt, you can ask this. Okay, so if you don't have any doubt, let me proceed further with some other problem so that it may be useful for you. Okay, so consider this circuit. In this circuit, already they have given the polarity for Vx, this one, that is the voltage across this 10 ohm resistor, and they have given the polarity for voltage across this 5 ohm resistor. Okay, so now what they have asked is they have asked us to find V naught. V naught is the voltage which we need to find for this 5 ohm resistor in this polarity. Okay, so now for this circuit, let us assume some current direction. Let it be in this fashion. Then you take this 2 plus minus 2 Vx, then this 5 ohm resistor. So this is 10, this is 70, and this is 2 Vx. This is 5 ohm. Now what we need to find? We need to find this V naught. Okay. So now you assume some current direction. Let us assume that the current direction is like this. Now this Vx is the variable which is going to control this voltage. So you consider this voltage Vx, and this voltage polarity is like this. Okay. In that case, now what is the voltage across this resistor? This voltage across this resistor is nothing but 10 into I. So let's say that this is I. So that is the current flowing through this path. The voltage across the resistor is 10 into I. This is nothing but Vx. Directly you can write, because the assumed current direction is going to enter this terminal. If you have assumed the polarity for this, you would have assumed the polarity like this for this 10 ohm resistor voltage. So assumed polarity will be same as your polarity given in the question. So you will be getting 10I is equal to Vx. Okay, now if you write KVL equation for this, since the current is going to enter this polarity, you are in the enter this terminal, you are going to consider this as positive, and you are going to consider this as negative. So because of this, you are going to mention it as, if you write a KVL, it is going to be minus 70 ohm plus 10 into I plus 2 Vx, because current is entering the positive polarity, plus 5 ohm is equal to 0. Okay, so if you rearrange this equation, you will get 5 into I. Okay, if you rearrange this equation, you will get 15I 15I plus 2 Vx minus 70. You can take it to another side, that is 70. Okay, you are having two variables now. One is I and another one is Vx. So you can represent I in terms of Vx or Vx in terms of I. In either way, you can do it. So let us already we know that 10I is equal to Vx. So you can directly substitute 10I is equal to Vx, or Vx is equal to 10I. In another way you can substitute. So here we can substitute for the Vx. So 15I plus 20I, because this Vx is 10I, so that is equal to 0. Now you will get 35I is equal to 70. So you will get I is equal to 2 ampere. So for this assumed current direction, we got current as positive. It means that the assumed current direction is correct. So now if you want to find the voltage across this 5 ohm resistor, then the voltage is nothing but 5 into 2, that is going to be 10 volt. Okay, but this is the 10 volt for the assumed current direction. Now in the question, they have asked the voltage polarity in this fashion, but our polarity which we have considered for solving the problem is like this. So whatever we had obtained, that should be opposite to this, that should be equal to minus 10 volt. Okay, so these are very basics for your further solving the problem. So if you do not understand, kindly ask now itself, so that we can clarify your doubt now itself. Okay, without this understanding, it is not possible for you to solve the problem. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you kindly ask now itself. Okay, fine. So let us see one more problem. Here we are having a current controlled current source. Here this current is 3 ampere. Then we are having a source here. This is the current controlled current source. Then what they have asked, what they have told is this is the current I naught that is going to decide the magnitude of this current source. Okay, so for this, what we have to do is, till now we had applied KVL. Now we can apply KCL. The sum of the currents at the node is equal to 0, right? So here you can apply, just a minute. So here you can apply KCL. So here two currents are coming in and one current is coming out as per the given direction. Okay, if it is not given, then it is a different case, but it is given, so you take it accordingly. You can see the current is coming out of this, so the current is coming in to this node. Here the current is coming into the nodes because the current direction is given like this. Then the I naught is coming out, so it should go through this path. So sum of the currents is equal to 0. So you can write minus 3 entering currents as negative minus 0.5 I naught, that is these two currents are the entering currents, plus I naught is equal to 0. Because I have taken I naught, this I naught is the current which is leaving. So for this node, this I naught is leaving, so I have considered it as positive. For this node, these two currents are entering, so I have considered those as negative. So if you see that minus 3 plus 0.5, which will be equal 0.5 I naught will be equal to 0. So if you calculate I naught will be 6 ampere. Okay, for this problem, actually we need to find I naught and V naught. So V naught is the voltage across this 4 ohm resistor. Already we have found the current. That current is going to be flowing through this path. So I naught into this 4 ohm resistor will give V naught. So I naught is 6 ampere and V naught is 4 and the resistor is 4 ohm. So 6 into 4 you got 24 volt. Okay, so here I have applied KCL because we are having current source, and since we are having current source and the current magnitudes are given, it is easy to apply KCL at this node and you can find the voltage. So it is easy. Okay, so here it is very easy to apply KCL. That's why I have applied KCL. Entering current I have considered as negative, and leaving current I have considered as positive. So that is the only thing. After I found the current, I know the resistance value already. If I want to find the voltage, voltage is equal to I into R, that is equal to 24 volt. Okay, so this is the solution for this problem. So let us see one more problem. Okay, same problem. This is the same problem which we had considered previously, but one difference is I have assumed the current direction in the reverse way rather than in the actual way. Okay, so for this problem we have got current as positive, so we will be getting current as negative here. Okay, we have already found the current, so we can just take it as it is. So the current will come as negative here, right? So now what do we have to do here is, see here, if you will redraw it so that we will understand it clearly. So we are having a 10 ohm resistor, then you are having a voltage source, then you are having this is 10 ohm. This is the polarity given for Vx for this problem in this question. This is going to define the voltage polarity for this voltage magnitude for this source. Okay, so this is 5 ohm, and this V naught is plus minus like this, and this is 70 volt. Now what I am doing, I am assuming the current direction like this. When I am assuming the current direction like this, so I will consider the polarity for this 5 ohm resistor as plus minus like this because current is entering this polarity. Then for this 10 ohm resistor, I will consider the polarity as like this, right? I will consider the polarity as like this because the current is entering this terminal. Since the current is entering this terminal, I will consider polarity positive here and negative here. Okay, if I find the voltage across this 10 ohm resistor for the given current direction, what I have done, I have taken the resistor, this is 10 ohm, my current is going to enter in this fashion. So because of this, I have considered this as positive and this as negative. Now, if I mention this voltage across this resistor as 10 ohm, here in this problem, you need Vx. That Vx is defining the voltage of this dependent voltage source. That Vx polarity is like this. That Vx polarity is given in this fashion. So whatever the voltage you are getting for this one, you have to write it in the reverse way. In another way, you can say that Vx is equal to minus V10, that is voltage across this 10 ohm resistor, that can be written as minus 10 into I. Okay, so this is for Vx. So now again, you can write the KVL equation. If you write the KVL equation, you will be getting like this. If you solve this equation, already we have one equation here and another equation here. This is the second equation, this is the first equation. So if you solve this equation, you will get current. That current is negative current now. Why? Because we have assumed the current direction in the reverse way. So our actual current direction is opposite to the assumed current direction. So we got I as negative. Okay. Now you got I. So you can directly substitute here to find the Vx. So Vx is equal to minus 10 into minus 2. So that is nothing but 20 volt. Okay. I think in the last thing we did not find out the voltage Vx. We did not find, okay, here also we have found the voltage Vx. That Vx, you can see that again we got the same voltage, that is Vx is equal to 20 volt. Even if you assume the current direction in one way or another way, the voltage and current should be the voltage should be coming as correctly. Okay, why it is coming as correctly is when you assumed the current direction in this fashion, you got, if you have assumed the current direction in the clockwise manner like this, you got Vx is equal to 10 into I. When you assumed the current direction in the anti-clockwise direction, what you got is Vx is equal to minus 10 into I, because the current direction is reversed. That is different from our given polarity of this dependent element. So we had considered minus 10 into I. Okay, is this clear? If you have understood this, we can proceed further. So all the basics almost got over at this point. After this, we will go for different analysis. Okay, if you have understood, kindly we can go, proceed further. Else, you kindly ask your doubt. We can clarify your doubt and proceed further.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So this is another problem. Here we are having a single node because, as I had already told, there is no element present between any of these connections, since there is no any element between these connections. So this is, let's say, X, Y. Since there is no element is connected between this, means there is no resistor, inductor, capacitor, voltage source, nothing is there between this. Only one wire is there. Then you can consider these two things as a single node. Similarly, there is no element connected between any of these connections. So you can consider all these things as a single node. Instead of drawing like this, you can also draw in this fashion. Okay, I'm not drawing the elements. I'm not drawing that elements. I'm just drawing like this. Just a minute. Where my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yes,
visual.
sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can consider that as a single node on top, and you can consider a single node on bottom because there is no elements connected between any of these connections. Okay, so there is no connections like this, so you can consider it as a single node on top. So here there are four branches. One is this, and another one is this, another one is this, and another one is this. So you can consider it as a single node. This is A and this is B. You can connect like this. Okay, so you can connect like this also. Just I have redrawn, nothing I have done. This you can draw like this because it is a single node. To represent that as a single node on top and bottom, I have mentioned like this. Okay, so let us proceed further. So here in this question we need to find v naught and I naught. Since it is a single node, you can easily find using KCL. Okay, so already one current is given here, I naught, it is given here. Here another current source that is given in this fashion. Then again you can consider one more current that is going out of the node. That since the current direction is not given, you can assume like this. Okay, so now we have to write the KVL equation at this node. At this node, 9 ampere is coming into the node, so you consider it as a minus 9. This I naught, all these things are coming like this. I told you, right? So it is a single node. 9 ampere is coming like this, plus I naught is going like this. Then I naught by 4 is going like this. Then you are having some current. This current you should know, that you do not know, so you mention it as I8. It means that I8 means current flow through the 8 ohm resistor. Generally it is easy to understand, so it is mentioned like this, nothing else. Okay, so we are here, this is the node. You can apply KVL, KCL here. So one current is coming in, that is 9 ampere, remaining currents are going out, that is given like this. Okay, I have assumed this as current as going out. Okay, so for this you write the KCL equation. If you write the KCL equation, you will get minus 9 plus I naught because current is leaving. Similarly, this is plus I naught divided by 4 because current is leaving. Here this is the final current, that is nothing but I8 ohm, means that is the current flowing through the 8 ohm resistor. For the current flowing through this 8 ohm resistor, it is very much understand that it is the current is nothing but voltage divided by resistance. We don't know the current, also we do not know the voltage, but the variable which is given here is V naught divided by 8. That is nothing but V naught divided by 8 is nothing but 8 ohm resistor current, right? So to represent that, I have mentioned this here. Okay, is that clear? To represent this 8 ohm, so if you simply write KCL, I can write like this: I naught plus I naught divided by 4 plus I8 ohm. Okay, so this is equal to 0 because sum of the current is equal to 0 at the node, so I have represented like this. So this I naught can be represented like this. This is nothing but V naught divided by 8. Okay, so now we need to proceed further, but you can see that this is a single equation with two unknowns. So you are having two unknowns, and with a single equation you cannot solve it. So it should be possible for us to represent one variable with the another variable. That's what we are going to do. So here these are parallel elements, as we have already discussed. These are the parallel elements. This we have discussed it before, because both the top terminal and bottom terminals are connected together, so all the elements are in parallel here. In all the parallel elements, the voltage across the parallel elements are same. So if the voltage across this 8 ohm resistor is V naught, obviously the voltage across this 2 ohm resistor is also V naught. The voltage across this current source is also V naught. The voltage across this current source is also V naught. To use this V naught, we are going to represent V naught in terms of 2 into I naught. V naught is equal to 2 into I naught. Why I have considered here is all the elements are connected in parallel. Since all the elements are connected in parallel, the voltage across all the elements are same. So the voltage across this 2 ohm resistor is also V naught. So that V naught can be written as 2 into I naught, that is the resistor of that particular branch, into I naught, that is the current flowing through that path. So I can substitute V naught is equal to 2 into I naught in the previous equation. If I substitute V naught is equal to 2 into I naught in this equation, I can find the I naught. Okay, I can either substitute V naught as this, or I can rearrange this equation: I naught is equal to V naught by 2 that also I can substitute in this equation. Finally, we need to find I naught and V naught. So you can substitute in any point of view, in any perspective, but finally we need V naught and I naught. So I have substituted V naught is equal to 2 into I naught. So here I naught is equal to 6 ampere if you solve this equation. So if you find the I naught is equal to 6 ampere, then V naught can be given by 2 into I naught, that is nothing but 2 into 6, that is 12 volt. Okay, so this is for the KCL. Now for another KCL problem, this is another problem here. Here what we need to find is, we need to find I1 and I2. Remaining all other things are given, we need to find I1 and I2. Okay, so these are the variables for this circuit. So for this, obviously you know that this is a node and this is a node, right? So you can apply KCL at this node and you can apply KCL at this node, and you can find the solution further. Here I3 is also a variable. Okay, so you have to find these three things. So how you can find I1? So you can see here that at this node one current is leaving out, one current is coming in, and here another current is leaving out. So if you apply KCL equation for this, so this is incoming, remaining two are outgoing. So minus I1, I have written it for incoming, then plus 1 ampere for outgoing, one you just mentioned, then plus 6 ampere for outgoing, that is equal to 0. So from this I can write I1 is equal to 7 ampere. So if you find I1, obviously then other things also you can find simply by applying KCL at this node. So if you apply KCL at this node, 6 ampere is coming in, 7 ampere is going out, another I2 is going out. So incoming is 6 ampere, so I have written it as minus 6 plus I2 plus 7 ampere is equal to 0. Then I2 you will be getting as minus 1 ampere, because 7 minus 6 is 1. So if you take it to the other side, you will get minus 1 ampere. Then for similarly for I3, we have 7 ampere here and we are having 2 ampere here. 7 ampere is the incoming for this particular node. So 2 ampere is going out and this I3 is also going out. You can write it as 7 minus 7 plus 2 ampere, that is going out, minus plus I3, that is also going out, that is equal to 0. Okay, so you can find it out, I3 is equal to 5 ampere. Or you can apply KCL at this node, also you can apply KCL at this node also. Okay, because already 4 ampere is given, I2 we have calculated before, then you can apply KCL at this equation at this node. Okay, here I2 is coming in, I3 is also coming in, and this 4 ampere is going out. So minus I2 minus I3 are incoming, plus 4 ampere is equal to 0. Already we know I2 value, I2 is nothing but minus 1. So you substitute minus 1 for I2, minus I3 is equal, plus 4 is equal to 0. If you rearrange this equation and solve it, you will get I3 as 5 ampere. This is same as what we have found just before. Okay, so final answer will be same, but you can take it in any way. And this is very simple KVL KCL circuits which you would have solved in your JW, or you would have solved in your 12th standard also. I mean simple KCL. Okay, even though you would not be aware of dependent sources, you would have applied a KVL and KCL simply. Okay, so now let us proceed further. So I hope that till now, if you have any doubt, you kindly ask, else we have to proceed further. Okay, since it is a basic, we are going very slow. Once we cross the basics, we will go very fast. Else, only for this unit, I need 14 or 15 hours only to complete the first unit, because it is having more basics. Okay, so if you have understood till now, it's fine. If you have doubt, you kindly ask now, or you send me a message what you did not understand in MS Teams itself to my personal message in MS Teams. I will reply and I will clarify your doubt. Without understanding this, it is very difficult to solve the problems in the later on stage. Keep it in mind, it is very difficult to manage. So kindly ask your doubts now itself. Okay, so if you do not have any doubts, let me proceed further. If you are having a series resistor, then voltage will be divided. This is almost same like a KVL. You know that the sum of voltages in the loop will be equal to 0. It means that this voltage source is having some voltage that is going to be divided across the elements whichever is connected. Okay, so how do you say this is a series? Here you are having two resistors. These two resistors are connected in series. Why I am saying these two resistors are connected as series is, if some current is entering this terminal of this resistor R1, the same current, not the same amount of current, and what I'm saying is the same current is going to flow through both the resistors. The current is not going to divide and the current magnitude is also same. Since the same current is going to flow on both the resistors, that is one is the R1 and another one is R2, then I can say these two resistors are connected in series. So in series elements, the if in terms of resistors I'm talking, if you are having n number of resistors in series, then for those resistors the current will be same, whereas the voltage will be different in different resistors. That voltage across each element is decided by its element R1, I mean decided by the resistance of that particular resistor. Okay, so here two resistors are connected in series because same current is going to flow through this path. So if I write KVL equation for this loop, I can write minus V because that is the voltage rise, then plus V1 that is the voltage across the resistor R1, then plus V2 that is the voltage across the resistor V2. Okay, so now I have this equation. So I can rearrange this equation as V is equal to V1 plus V2. I have just rearranged this equation. Then already I know what is V1 and what is V2 because V1 is nothing but I into R1 and V2 is nothing but I into R2. So if I substitute this in this equation, I will get V is equal to I into R1 plus I into R2. So here the same current is flowing through both the resistors. So I can take IS common. So I will get V is equal to I into R1 plus R2. So now this I can be find it out based on this expression. Now this R1 plus R2 is considered as the equivalent resistance. So if you are having n number of elements in series, then you can find the equivalent resistance value. Equivalent resistance value in the sense overall resistance value by just by adding the resistance, that is considered as R equivalent. Okay, so here I is equal to V divided by R1 plus R2. This R1 by R2 can be written as R equivalent like as it is given here. What I am saying is if you are having n number of resistors in series, okay, you consider that n number of resistors in series, this is R1 plus R2 plus R3. These three resistors are in series, so these three resistors can be written as a common resistor, that is the equivalent resistor. This resistor can be represented like R into equivalent. So this R equivalent is nothing but R1 plus R2 plus R3. Okay, so here basically what is happening is you are having a overall voltage, that is a voltage rise. In this voltage rise, if it is x quantity, then whatever the voltage drop is happening after this, that should be equal to this. Okay, consider that there is only resistors or inductors or capacitors that is cannot supply. So those voltage drops will be same as the magnitude of this x. If you are having n number of resistors, the final voltage if you find across the all the drops, that voltage will be same as the voltage across this voltage rise component. Okay, in terms of magnitude both will be exactly same. Okay, so in another way you can say that whatever the rise voltage rise is there, that will be dropped in the complete circuit. In resistor, inductor and capacitor, in the passive elements, the voltage will be dropped. So here in all the circuits the voltage drop happening, if you add all together you will be getting the same value as voltage rise, that is nothing but x. Okay, so here that's all about this. So here if n resistors are connected in series, then you can mention like this: R equivalent is equal to R1 R2 R3 up to the nth resistance. So you can represent like this in summation format. R equivalent is equal to summation of n is equal to 1 to capital N into sum of the individual resistance value. What is R1? What is R2? So if you add all together, it can be represented like the summation of this. Okay, so the equivalent resistance of any number of resistors connected in series can be represented as a single equivalent resistance that will be given by the sum of individual resistances. Okay, is that fine? Is it
Yes,
fine?
sir.
Okay, so that is about the series resistance. So if there is some series resistance, then as I told before, the voltage drop will be happening in individual elements. Okay, now for series elements, you need to know about voltage drop. For parallel elements, you need to know about current division. Why do you need to know about current division is this will make our problem to solve to be easier. Okay, if you're solving some problem, if you know series connection and voltage division and parallel connection and the current division, it is going to make your solution easier. Okay, you can solve it in a easier manner. Why I am saying series with the voltage division is, as told before, for series elements the voltage will be dropped, the sum of the voltage drop will be equal to the sum of voltage rise. Similarly, for a parallel circuit, if you are having a circuit like this, then if you're having a current source like this, let's say this is 10 ampere, and so the current will be entering here. If you apply KCL, some current will be going through this path and some current will be going through this path. So now the sum of currents, this one, that is I1, let's say this is I2 as say, let's say, so this I1 plus I2 will be equal to I, that is the total current which is flowing here. Okay, so that's what, when you are having parallel resistors, then the sum of currents will be equal to the overall current or total current. So that is called as current division, that we will see what is current division later on, but here we are going to talk about voltage division. If you know the overall voltage and if you know the individual resistance value, what I'm saying is, suppose if this voltage is given, and if you know the resistance value and if you know the resistance value of R1 and R2, without finding current, you can directly find the voltage across this individual elements. So for example, let's say that you are having a 10 volt source here and 2 ohm resistor for R1 and a 3 ohm resistor for R2. Okay, so this can be, I want to find V1. Without finding I can directly find the voltage. So how I can find the voltage? So if you are finding the voltage across this resistor, that is R1, then if you want to find the voltage across this R1, that is given by V1, that can be written as R1, for which resistor you want to find the voltage, divided by sum of the resistances are equivalent, sum of the resistances in the series element, or here you are having R1 plus R2. Okay, these are the resistances available in the circuit, then multiplied by overall voltage. Okay, overall voltage, it is already given, then this is the formula to find the voltage across individual element. So if you substitute the value here, the voltage across this resistor value is 2, this is R1, then 2 plus 3 is R1 plus R2 into voltage is 10. So this is 5, this is 2, so you will get 4 volt across this 2 ohm resistor. Okay, similarly, if you solve this problem using KVL, you will get minus 10 plus 2 into I plus 3 into I is equal to 0. Now, if you find I, it will be 2 ampere. Then if you find voltage across this 2 ohm resistor, it will be equal to 2 into 2 ohm resistor. That is nothing but 4 volt resistor. So you find the current, then after you found the current, you are finding the voltage. But here in the formula, if you substitute, you are directly getting the voltage. This is voltage division formula. Similarly, you can find the voltage across another resistor also. Suppose if I want to find the voltage across this resistor R2, that can be given by R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into overall voltage V. Okay, this is the overall voltage, that is V. So here you can substitute 3 divided by 5 into 10, you will get 6 volt. Okay, so here we're getting 6 volt. This is the voltage across resistor R2. This is the voltage across the resistor R1. This is V1. So these are the drops, right? Because these are the voltage across the resistor. So if you add these two, you will get 10. This is nothing but equal to the voltage rise, that is 10 volt of the source. This is the source voltage. Okay, so always in the circuit, the voltage rise will be equal to the voltage drop. And if it is a series circuit, if you know the overall voltage and if you know the individual resistance value, instead of applying KVL and finding the voltage, you can directly find the voltage across individual resistor elements. Okay, so why it is coming correctly is what we are doing here is in this formula. Okay, so actually we are directly applying KVL and finding the answer here. Okay, we are not doing anything else. Okay, actually what we are doing is first we are finding the current through the circuit using this formula. How we are finding the current through the circuit? V is the source voltage divided by R1 plus R2. What it is going to give? This is going to give the current flow through this circuit, right? This is going to give the current flow through this circuit, that is nothing but I, right? So now what I'm doing, whichever the for whichever the element I need to find the voltage, I'm going to multiply with the resistor. So I into R1, that is going to give the voltage. So directly we are finding the voltage by this directly we are finding the current of the circuit using this formula, and we are multiplying with the respective resistance to find the voltage. So that's what we are doing. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you kindly ask. Okay, so that is one thing. Similarly, if you do want to find voltage across some particular element, let's say that some nth resistor voltage, if you want to find, that is given by Rn, and voltage is given by Vn. This is the nth resistor for which you want to find the voltage. Then here it is the overall voltage. Here this is going to be giving the equivalent resistance. This combination V divided by this equivalent resistance is going to give the current. Then this Rn is the respective resistance value for which you want to find the voltage. So this is your voltage across that respective element. Okay, one thing, if you see here, if the elements are connected in series, same current is going to flow through this path. If same current is going to flow through this path, whichever is having the highest resistance value, that is going to have the greater voltage or higher voltage. So now for our example, we had taken 2 and 3. The current flowing through this is 5 ampere we had taken. So the voltage across this is 4 volt and the voltage across this is 6 volt. You can understand that whichever is having the higher resistance value in the circuit, it's going to have the higher voltage across that element, because here the current is fixed. Since the current is fixed, you know V is equal to I into R for both the element. It's V1 is equal to I into R1, V2 is equal to I into R2. So here I is fixed for both the elements. So whichever is having higher value among this, that is going to have the higher voltage across that element. Am I going very fast?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So that's all with this voltage division. If you have any doubt, you kindly ask. So let us proceed with current division also, so that let us complete with current division for today. Just a minute. Okay, let me take 3 or 4 minutes more. Can you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So we will consider about parallel resistors and current division. So we will complete with this for today. If possible, we will complete with this for today. Okay. So here, as we have already discussed, we have discussed what is a parallel element. So here, these three elements are in parallel. Both all the voltage source, the resistor R1 and R2, all the elements are in parallel. Our focus is only on resistors. So if you want to say 2 or 3 more resistors are in parallel, it means that if you are having two terminals for a resistor, of course you are having two terminals for a resistor, then those two terminals should be connected like this. The top terminal should be connected like this, and bottom terminal should be connected like this. So both should be connected like this without any resistance. In between, there is no resistance. You can see here that these two terminals are shorted with zero resistance. This resistance between these two elements is zero. Similarly, the resistance between these two terminals is zero. In this case, as we had discussed before, you can draw the circuit like this. Okay, you can draw the circuit like this. So when you are having these kind of elements, the voltage drop across both the resistors will be same. If 10 volt is across here, then only 10 volt will be across here. There will not be any change. So when you can have certain elements where both the starting terminal and the ending terminal are connected together, then you can say that those elements are connected in parallel. So when some elements are connected in parallel, their current is going to decide, as we discussed just some time back. So here the overall current is going to divide like this. Okay, series resistance is going to do voltage division, parallel resistance is going to do current division. Okay, so this is the voltage. So the voltage across this particular resistor is V1, and voltage across this particular resistor is V2. So here, as I told, V1 is equal to V2. That is nothing but that is equal to the voltage across this overall. This source is V volt. So obviously, the voltage across the resistor will also be V. Okay. So here I is the current flowing entering, that is equal to I1 plus I2. Okay, that is the current flowing through the individual resistors. What is I1? I1 is nothing but V1 divided by R1. Then I2 is nothing but V2 divided by R2. Okay, as I had already told, V1 and V2 is equal to V. So you can write it as V divided by R1 plus V divided by R2. So here V is common. You can take V as common outside. So you will get 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Okay, so now what is this? This is nothing but current. Okay, so from this, what we can say is this is the actual equal resistance for the parallel element. Okay, R equivalent for the parallel circuit can be given by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, or in another way you can write it as R2 into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, so this is the R equivalent you can find. Okay, so there is another way to find also. That's what I had given here. So this is very simple equation. This can be written as total R equivalent. So R equivalent is nothing but R1 R2 into R1 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, sorry, I have wrongly written. So this is nothing but 1 by R equivalent. So when you find 1 by R equivalent, so this is 1 by R equivalent. So R equivalent here, the 1 by R equivalent will be R2 plus R1 by R1 plus R2. Then if you take the reciprocal of this, you will get R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, so this will be your equivalent resistance. Okay, so in the next class, we will see further things with that, how to find the current and what is current division, that we will see in the next class. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask, else you can leave the session. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, if you don't have any doubt, I will end this meeting. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.